Welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with an avalanche of craft brew on the side. What was that?
That was the sound of an avalanche.
Okay, I'm Nate.
And I'm Jade, and on this episode we are sliding into Chapter 31 of Temple of the Winds. Yeah? How you doing over there?
I'm just in a world of audio surround sound right now.
Yeah.
That seemed like a very cute avalanche.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm not a large avalanche, but we could all only be the avalanches that we were born to be. So.
You know what? I accept that. It was a good avalanche nonetheless.
Thank you. Even a small one can take some people out.
That's true. That's true.
All right. So, I don't think we have any housekeeping, as you like to say. If we do, I forgot about it. So, there's that.
Okay.
Happy Thanksgiving for anybody that we missed.
Yeah,
I know that we mentioned it on our Patreon, but maybe not for our other people. So if you are in the U.S. and you celebrate, then thanks to you. Or we're thankful for you, or however I wanted to say that.
We are thankful for all of the listeners.
Yes.
Because we are celebrating Thanksgiving.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say. Yes. We are on track now. So that's it. That's.
Some would say I put that on a table for you.
Oh, like food?
On a platter.
On a platter?
Ooh. Okay, I'm done now. 100%.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I'd like it better if I could actually eat it, but I digress. So that's the end of that. That's all tied up now, like a turkey, like a beautiful turkey.
This is the end of the banter section right here. Second course.
We are going to be getting into chapter 31. So, our last two chapters had a lot of child death.
A lot of child death.
We are now on our way back to the palace with our little group here. And as they head back, palace guards are stopping and bowing like they have been fairly recently all the time. And they're yelling out Richard's praises. Kahlan does feel like she feels a distinct difference in the way that the townspeople are acting. Like the soldiers and the townspeople are on two different levels here.
Oh, okay. That is kind of like what we talked about. We know how the soldiers feel, how some of the soldiers feel, but the everyday Joe, how does he feel about Lord Rawl?
Yeah, or about just the current events, because this has been a very long day of, Richard and Kahlan, the two most important people in the town, walking around the town and doing dealings in there. So I think they're looking around suspiciously. People are in knots gossiping. There's a lack of laughter amongst the townspeople. So the soldiers are still in their, yay, we're not shitting our brains out euphoria.
Yeah.
And the townspeople are in more of a worried state because some shit was going down in the town
depending
today.
on how fast news travels and stuff like that. Not everybody probably has the full story.
Right.
It's not like now. It's all just word of mouth.
Yes, and we will find out just how quick that news does travel here in just a second.
Okay.
A group of soldiers does cheer for Richard, thanking him for healing them, and he does end up stopping in his tracks and balling his fist all pissed off before he continues on. And Kahlan grabs his hand for support because she knows he's having a really rough time being praised and talked up after what a rough day he's been having.
Yeah, he's not feeling it right now.
No. And Kara angrily gestures for all the soldiers to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that's enough, guys.
Yeah, she's like, come on, guys. Do you not read the room, okay? They have spent the day seeing near to a dozen kids struck down with the plague. 6 of them had been dead. They'd look right in their faces. And Kahlan had to struggle to not lose her shit in front of the mothers who weren't that much older than herself. We've talked about this before. She is and Richard are kind of old for not being already with families and married at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about all the timelines are moved up. If you're not like married by 19,
yeah,
it's
an old
over
maid.
for you. Yeah.
Some people
Hear that, teenagers? Just give up.
Get it up. Get going. Some of these women had older family to help out, but some only had a husband who's more, like, barely more than a boy themselves. Just like I'm talking about. Like, 2 19-year-olds shacked up with a 2-year-old or a, 6-year-old. Maybe they're 25 now with a 6-year-old. Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Who has the plague now? It's not cool. Nadine and Dreffen are behind the two of them discussing cures and things to try. And Dreff is explaining the causes of breaks in the body's defenses that let sickness, like, get in there and take hold.
Yeah.
He seems to almost hold those who get sick in contempt, like they deserved to get sick for not minding their bodies better, like he does. And for a minute, Caitlin's like, okay, well, maybe it's just frustrating to be a healer and have to deal with the people who bring it on themselves.
Yeah.
Like prostitutes or the men who see them. They know that they're dabbling in things that could get them sick. They're doing it anyways. But she doesn't know if those thoughts are, like, justified or if it's just being arrogant and like an asshole. But she has felt the same way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like she's kind of wondering about her own thoughts. Is it justified to think that way?
I mean, I think when it comes back to our experience with COVID and stuff, like, we took precautions. So then when some people who didn't take precautions got sick, there was a flash of like, well, of course not. You didn't do the stuff. But then we found out much later that some people who took all the precautions got sick. Some people who did nothing did not get sick and didn't stop. So it's just like, well, you can't really say that that's a direct thing because you don't know what led up to them getting sick or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I feel like that is a very real thing that people feel.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, okay, everyone has their own beliefs as to whether or not they wanted to get vaccinated or your own reasons for doing so or not doing so. But if you, for instance, had somebody that you interact with on a daily basis who chose not to, not for medical reasons, but for just 'cause, and they ended up with it, like, multiple times, and you work in, like, a very small area, you can feel like that's frustrating.
Yeah.
That you are out of work for 5 days at a time every time, or 2 weeks or whatever, multiple times, because you just chose to get sick, it feels like. Like, we are working...
Yeah, I can see that. It feels like you chose to get sick.
Yeah, and then especially when they... Yes. So it's... You shouldn't look at it that way, but it is easy to feel
but
justified.
It's easy to do,
when you're
yeah.
like, the fuck are you doing? And she tells a story about when she was younger and there was a diplomat who got sick every time he ate certain sauces with certain spices.
I like the sauces. Excuse me.
We're not just talking like shitting his brains out a little bit, like, lactose intolerant type sick. It's not, that most people do. This is like, he couldn't fucking breathe sick.
Oh, so like, he's like eating the shrimp when he's electric? What am I saying? Allergic.
Yes.
To like, what is it? Seafood?
Yeah, like anaphylaxis.
So his throat is closing. He's like, they're so good.
Yeah,
they're so
like
good.
He's allergic to pepper or some shit, and he just keeps eating pepper. And he keeps eating them anyways. Eventually, he died at the table while eating this shit.
Because he got all the sauce he wanted.
And he couldn't breathe, and he died. And she had trouble feeling sorry for him. Every time she saw him, she felt contempt for him. Because she was like, yeah, bet you can't breathe,
I mean,
you fucker.
Look, really, it's the restaurant's fault for not bringing him the feeding tube like he had required.
Yeah.
That way, he could breathe as much as he wanted, and they could just pour it right in.
Yeah.
You get all of the sauce that way.
Yeah.
But,
that's their fault. This is back
joke.
in the day. Modern things have advanced, and they didn't have good feeding tubes back then. The feeding horn.
Right?
Yeah, on the right thing.
There we go.
But Kahlan knows.
Who needs to breathe? I have a feeding horn.
Kahlan knows that sickness can sometimes be influenced by the mind. She remembers a place called Langdon, where a very superstitious people lived.
Okay.
They believed headaches that bothered the townspeople must be caused by spirits possessing them.
Gotta be.
That's the only cause that it
Fully
could be.
understood.
Couldn't be like a weird smell in the air.
It's not a miasma.
Couldn't be a noise. It couldn't be anything. The local healer he ordered white hot irons to be put to the feet of those with the headaches.
Now I'm kind of with you before. It's got to be something else. Probably not that. Probably not that ever.
Oh, but this was a remarkable cure, Nate, because the headaches stopped from that point on. No one has ever been possessed again in Langdon.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like they maybe just didn't fucking say that they had headaches anymore because they didn't want to have their feet burned.
This is like the Salem witch trials, right? If they only found one witch and then nobody accused each other after that. It was just like, this is what happens if you're a witch. Everybody watches it and they go, cool. Anybody else want any of that? No? We're done here.
Yeah. No,
we just had to do the one.
That's what I'm saying. One or two people got their feet done, and he was like, anybody else have a headache? And they were like, weirdly, no, not any. I did yesterday. I did like this morning. But after watching what you did to Susan, my headache went away. So
I took some Soames root for it, and I feel much, much better now.
Yeah, so the spirits left. We are good. Thank you, Archie. No need for your services today. Move along.
Goodbye.
Kahlan wished that the plague could vanish as easily. Also, Nadine, because that bitch ain't going anywhere now. Not with all the need all around. Because one person is definitely going to make the difference in a giant-ass city like this with the plague.
100%. Every single medical person, I mean, is important.
I agree with that, but also I feel like if you have a problematic person, if they had never showed up in the day, you would never have known, right? So
that's true.
So the argument to keep one person if they're causing a problem, to me personally, isn't strong. I would be able to argue that no.
I think you in that situation would argue that you would even pick up the slack of that other person to make sure that that other person wasn't there.
Yeah.
Okay. And hey, if it's something like that, then absolutely. But I definitely think that all medical people are important. Now, we also know that Nadine is of a certain medical level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily high grade stuff. So does she have to be kept so close? Not necessarily.
No.
But send her out into town to help do her stuff maybe.
Yeah. Go have her stay with a local herb woman.
Maybe that's bad. Maybe that's
together.
A death sentence. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care. Her and her tight-ass dress can go somewhere else. That's what I think about it.
Get her.
Kahlan didn't know what Richard had said to Nadine, but she could imagine, with how polite Nadine was being, what he said. He probably was pretty aggressive with her. She's aware.
She's like, oh, she got chewed out for sure.
She knew the apology wasn't sincere. Richard probably told her she had to do it, but Kara has been watching her ever since. So Kara, Nadine has bigger issues than just Richard and Kahlan at this point. Kara, just like we were talking about the other day, that Richard should have told her, hey, the fucking Mord Sith are just itching just to poke you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%. That would definitely at least let Nadine know that this was a very serious situation. It's not just Richard that he's riling up or just Kahlan. There are other people here that do not like you.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that we haven't seen, just knowing the Mord Sith and Kara specifically, her mentality, I'm a little surprised that she hasn't cornered Nadine in the corner of the palace somewhere and been like, listen.
Well, go ahead.
Kara, Kahlan is my sister of the Aegil. Richard is the Lord Rawl. Those two are going to be married. You're meddling, and I will not have it. The two of them can do whatever the fuck they want. I personally am not going to let you fuck their relationship up. I will poke you with this thing.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then poking her a little bit more. Like, just poking her
just
once.
a couple.
Just to show her. Just
Yeah,
be like,
well, that's
hey.
what I was saying before. You don't even need to do it a lot. Those things fucking hurt. So just, I'm imagining she doesn't have, like, I don't know. She seems kind of sheltered to me. So probably not a super high pain threshold. Hasn't been exposed to a lot of that type of stuff. So just a little zap.
That's what I'm saying.
That's all.
That's what we've been missing so far in this book.
Just a little torture.
Is a scene of Kara just cornering this woman in somewhere and just being like, hey.
I was going to say, we know Kara had been on thin ice before too. So she's not trying to fuck around and go outside of the line. Now, we always know that she's a Mortis. She's going to kind of do what it is she wants to do anyways, but she's not, I don't think she's trying to step outside the line too much with Richard right now.
I, again, just think that she would be able to argue that she would, anything she did in that capacity was for his good. And that's, ultimately.
You're probably right. He'd be like, look, I appreciate what you did, okay? Kind of good job. Pound it. But I have to say out loud and so other people can hear me, that was bad. But awesome job. I could see that for sure.
She'd be like, I was protecting you and the mother confessor in your relationship. I know what you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Just like my old boss used to say, do what I want you to do, not what I tell you to do.
Yeah.
Got it.
So as the group enters the confessor's palace, a Mort Sith is coming from one side and somebody else is coming towards them from the other. Ulick turns and, Richard turns and asks Ulick to go get General Curson, and he asks where Baldwin is, General Baldwin. Apparently, Baldwin has been staying up in the Kelton place since the Battle of the Blood of the Fold. He, took it over.
He's like, this is my fucking castle now.
Yeah,
you guys can't have it? Mine.
He's like, I am not sleeping in the Taharan quarters anymore. I get a palace.
They're all fucking trying to stay up in the red rooms anyways. This whole place is just sitting here empty. You guys, you have a driveway full of palaces.
Yeah.
Give me this one.
Yeah. He's like,
I'm a general, damn it.
Yeah, he's like, I did enough.
You know what? I'm with him. Give him the castle. It's his now.
Richard starts to sway on his feet as he turns and asks Egan to go find Baldwin, wherever the fuck he is.
I can tell him we're going to make peace or whatever. Just get him off his, parapet?
Well,
get him down.
Yeah, Baldwin's just chilling. Baldwin's a good dude.
I like Baldwin. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm 100% for him having a castle.
Okay.
I think maybe he needs to just talk to Richard and be like, yo, I'm going to take that castle.
That's mine.
As long as it's cool with you, I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. So Richard wants the generals to bring their officers and meet in his office. And as Ulick and Egan take off, Tristan gets to the group. Berdine also wanders up on the side, so focused on her journal that, Kahlan has to stop her before she runs into Richard. Tristan,
don't bounce into him.
Yeah. He will go down.
Did I say bounce? I meant run into him. Kahlan's on edge right now.
Tristan bows and introduces himself, and Richard just cuts right to the point. He's like, hey, did you decide to surrender? And Tristan was expecting more of a, formal back and forth before they got to all the nitty-gritty.
He wanted this to be in court, right? He wanted this to be in front of all the people.
Yeah, he wants to feel important. And Richard's not giving him that. Number one, he's just fucking tired, so he doesn't have the time for it. But also, he doesn't seem to feel the need to play this man's games anyways, even if he wasn't tired.
Right. Yeah, exhausted Richard.
Yeah.
You have a cat face and lightning nipples, but I'll tell you what. Is this a mirror?
Yeah, no. he has been up for days and days.
Yeah,
and days.
He's out of it completely.
So
I got to work on my improv. Mm-hmm.
Tristan says that he appreciates the 2 weeks he has been granted by the Mother Confessor to watch for the signs from the stars. And Richard's like, yo, dude, you risk your people seeing swords instead of stars.
Ooh.
Which I'm surprised. Being as tired as he is, that was a solid fucking line.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Solid burn.
I would not be able to come up with that out of my ass. I tell you that.
100 points, Richard.
But at this, Tristan sort of threateningly pulls his coat back to show off his
does it
knife
again.
and his belt. Yeah.
Hey, I got this sharp thing, bro.
Yeah. Which is weird for a few. Like, Richard has a goddamn sword. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing with
This is when Richard gives him the step, right? And the step for Richard is the parent step plus the not completely unsheathing the sword, but just pulling it up like a couple of inches. And be like, did you just threaten the Lord Rawl? Did you? Because you would be so dumb if you had just done that. Try me again.
That's what I don't even know if he has to pull it out, because I feel like it's just such a funny scene in my head to think of this like fancy man like pulling his coat back to show off his knife and making a big show of showing off his knife. And I feel like Richard, all he'd have to do is be like, pull up his belt a little bit and be like, see how heavy my sword is? Much heavier than your knife, bitch.
Yeah, I got a cape too,
Like,
motherfucker,
what?
and I don't got to pull mine back for you to see how big my sword is.
What?
Bring it. Oh my! They're staring at each other and they're comparing blades.
Yeah, that's what
Mine's bigger. Well, mine's faster.
Yeah.
So ha.
The Mord Sith do notice, and their Geels all come up in their hands.
There you go.
And Tristan says that he told the Mother Confessors that his people looked forward to joining the Daharan Empire, which Richard wasn't even aware was a thing. Like, he knew that they were
What a way
an
to
empire.
find out.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm a fucking emperor? What?
He knew he was in charge, but he didn't realize that Kahlan had given it a name, and that name specifically.
I'm not even used to being like Lord or King yet.
Yeah.
Now I'm fucking Emperor?
Emperor Rawl versus Emperor Jagang.
We're just gonna put all this sick stuff on hold for a minute. We're just gonna party tonight, guys. We're just gonna party. Not gonna worry about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But tomorrow, then it's all business.
You
then
know
I'll
what?
be an emperor.
You know what? Today, right now specifically, should be the business of the moment, though.
What's that?
A beer break.
Ah, yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Hell yeah.
What do we have today?
Well, we did finish drinking some salted caramel porter from Pigeon Hill, which we've had before on the show.
Yes, we did have that.
That's pretty good. That's why it's gone. It's delicious and salty and caramely, and 6%. And then now we are drinking almost the last of our dwindling pile of blackberry PB&J from Elk Brewing.
Yeah, because of the holiday, I figured it was okay to bust out some of these, and we have 2 of the originals left. There are only 2, and I don't know when we're going to get after those, but they're very special. But also, they're kind of on a time limit, because even though it's canned beer, it don't last forever. So,
yeah, you don't want it to not taste the way you remember it, anyways.
No, you don't want to wait till the very last second, only to find out it got bunky like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Anyways, I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to enjoy what we have here in our cans, and possibly gather one more of these blackberry, because I think we have 1 or 2 more each.
Yep.
But then we'll be back right after this. Yeah. And we're back. Let's go! Yay!
Okay, let's go!
Okay, so Kahlan tries to get Tristan to go away. She's like, so we've established this. Cool. You get 2 weeks. Go the fuck away. Why are you here? Leave us alone.
Mm-hmm.
But he wants to ask about the rumors that have been swirling around that there is plague in Aidendrill. So that's how fast news has traveled.
Okay.
It's gotten all the way back to the palace already.
That fucking fast.
Yeah. Richard doesn't hesitate to say, yep, it's true, there is plague. But if Tristan goes with the order, he's going to wish the plague had gotten to him first. That was his response to how dangerous is it? Richard's like, if you go with the order, you'll wish it was a plague. Which isn't really an answer at fucking all.
No, that's a threat.
Not even a little bit.
That's the return threat.
Yeah.
Okay, I see your knife, and I raise you, just killing you because I'm the Lord Rawl, and I totally can here. This is my house.
Bitch.
My house.
Never has Kahlan seen two guys hate each other so much, so instantly.
Oh, yeah.
There's just palpable, like, hatred in the air. She knows with how tired Richard is, he's not in the mood for this shit, especially not this dude being worried about his own skin in the plague after seeing all the dead kids. Plus...
So much child death.
Yeah. Plus, Jara was on the council that damned Kahlan to death. So even though it wasn't Tristan, Richard's still kind of blaming him for that. But that kind of seems like Tristan's getting blamed for the sins of the father or the predecessor, you know?
Yeah, no,
bit.
it is. Look, his people did some bad stuff, which you can't necessarily blame Tristan for, unless he was on the council.
He was not.
Okay,
No.
so he wasn't on the council, but so then that's one thing. Richard has a strike against the people from Jara, right? Tristan just so happens to be an asshole.
Yeah.
Okay, so also you don't like Tristan, and the best way to go about that is obviously to try and figure out your differences, I suppose. But when it comes to Tristan, just keep it separated. He is an asshole that comes from a place that I am associating, like, I don't like them because they did that thing. They are not he, and he is not they.
Yeah, I just thought that was a funny thing that it's been brought up now at least twice that Richard kind of holds this Jara thing against Tristan as well.
Yeah.
And it's just, Richard doesn't like being held, you know, at a guilty for his father's sins. So why is he doing
kind of
so?
passing that on? Yeah.
Seems a little hypocritical.
Well, also, he's frustrated. Okay, first, he's very, very tired. Second, he's also
he gets
frustrated
a pass for everything he does
because,
right now.
No, I'm not going to give him a pass, but, like, I get why he's frustrated with this guy. Everybody was it was a yes or no question. And this guy was just like, I need more time. And he was even granted it. But then it's like, okay, do what you got to do. Stay the hell out of my hair and way. And don't give me a hard time right now because you're already on thin ice.
Yeah.
And now he's prying his nose and doing stuff. And it's not necessarily that he's doing anything wrong. It's just that he's already been extended these, I don't even know what you call them. Yes, these courtesies. And they're tired of it.
He already got a condition and a no condition situation.
So he should just take his win, do what he needs to do, and get back with a fucking answer. All of this, and granted, he's trying to do his due diligence, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to get all the information, which is a good thing. And that may complicate the situation, and it doesn't make him bad for it. But because of the way, like, he's spoken to people, we know he's an asshole. So kind of fuck him, too.
I don't disagree. I'm just saying that line right there I was like, that's not cool to be holding that against him. That's all.
Yeah, that's true.
Dreff steps between the two because at this point, Kahlan thinks they might draw swords or knife and sword, whatever, against each other. And he introduces himself, and then he's like, hey, Tristan, I suggest you stay the fuck in your room.
Yeah.
You avoid contact with strangers, especially prostitutes. Don't go fucking anybody. And get enough sleep and good food.
Hey, buddy, why don't you get the fuck out of here right now, okay?
Yeah.
Go get some sleep. Go be alone. Get some food. Don't be here right now because he might kill you. He seriously might kill you.
Yeah, just go stay in your room and eat and drink and don't do anything else. But you can come to the meeting that Dreff is going to have with the staff about protecting yourself. It's open to everybody.
Yeah, there you go.
Here, like, tomorrow, he's gonna let everybody know the proper steps to be taken, which is probably just gonna be him repeating exactly what he just said to Tristan.
Most likely, yeah.
6 feet. Everybody 6 feet.
Hey, get
hand
the basics
sanitizer
out there. Yeah, fucking wash your hands, bro.
Carry grain alcohol with you everywhere. Okay.
Don't lick doorknobs, etc.
If you do, swish the grain alcohol in your mouth. If you touch it with your hand, put it on your hands. Whatever.
Yeah, it can go everywhere.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's alcohol. It's good.
It's alcohol. It's good for you. Tristan thanks him for the info, and he thanks Richard for being honest. The lesser man might have lied about it, and then he takes his leave. At this point, Bardeen steps up and says she needs to talk to him. She hasn't been paying attention to anything going on, but she did recognize that she had an opening to speak.
Oh, yeah.
Before she can say more, he stops her and asks Nadine and Dreff for something for a headache. Nadine's immediately like, yeah, I got all sorts of herbs for a headache. You want to go lay down in my room? Can I give you a massage?
Obviously, Nadine. Yeah, she's going for the massage. You're going to have to be naked. Is that okay?
Yeah.
And then Dreff shows up and he's like, dude, I have the red hot brands in my room right now. Let's go.
Let's go.
Headache gone, motherfucker.
Actually, what he says is he has something better than herbs and not hot or irons. He says, sleep.
Oh.
Surprise. If Richard
Weird.
keeps trying to mask the symptoms of not sleeping, he's just going to make himself worse, which we've talked about. Like, if he just keeps trying to take, like, a pill or whatever for a headache, the headache's going to come back worse. And eventually he's going to fucking crash. And it's going to be bad for everybody. It's going to take longer for him to recover.
So sleep is literally probably the best thing for him.
He has to go to sleep.
But is it safe? Do we know that? That's it, but I'm trying to make a joke and James is just like,
I was like, what? For him to sleep?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, am I talking to Richard right now? Do I need to?
Richard's like, you can't prove I need sleep. Show me a study.
Here's the thing. I would turn to Dreffin at this point and be like, he does need herbs. Dreffin.
Yeah, he does.
You know exactly the herbs he needs for this headache, Dreffin.
Wink.
And
I'm winking out loud in case you're missing this, Dreffin.
And then we go get chloroform and knock his ass out.
Yeah, no shit.
Kahlan and Bardeen agree. Bardeen's like, dude, I feel so much fucking better after sleeping. I can finally, think clearly. I'm alert. And Richard just waves it away. He's like, I will soon. Okay? First, Bardeen, tell me what the fuck you came here to tell me.
Oh, Bardeen, you're a lobster now. Cool. How are you? I'm sorry. Did that throw you?
It did.
I'm having so much
like-
fun with Richard just hallucinating everything.
Click your claws 4 times if it's about Colo. She says she figures out where the Temple of the Winds is. The Winds is. She had realized that they were limiting the search by limiting keywords, and Richard is not interested in the process right now.
Yeah, he wants
And
results.
He starts yelling, "Where is it?"
Whoa!
It's very aggressive.
He's so done waiting.
Seriously,
He's like, look, I need the bare minimum from you right now.
Yeah.
Let's just give me what I want because I am on my way to my bed.
I'm gonna fall. She says it's atop the mountain of 4 winds. And Richard's like, the casino? What are you talking about?
Holy shit.
Sorry.
We gotta go to the casino.
She's
I'll start the car.
nobody knows what the fuck she's talking about. And she's like, that's the translation anyways.
That's right.
And they look at exactly what he calls it in his language, which is Berglinders Kishmerst.
What?
Kiermorst. Kiermermost. Berglinders Kiermermost.
Right, which as we all know stands for your top-notch gaming resort.
Mountain. Mountain of winds or some shit. And Kahlan
Yes, Mountain
recognizes
of Winds.
the last word and suggests that maybe it's possibly Mount Kiemermost. Which, Kiemermost? Whatever. The last word of whatever Kolo wrote, there's a mountain that's actually called that.
Keimermost.
That. Yes.
Yes.
Which is just fine. She didn't even have to translate it. That's literally just the name of the mountain. Now. And Bardeen's like, yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah, duh.
Yeah, that's the one. For sure.
She has been there before, Kahlan. And
Okay.
it is sure windy up top. Like most mountains. I know this. It's fucking windy up there.
Ben Nevis, you son of a bitch, I'm coming for you.
Be ready for that shit.
Yeah.
But there's no temple up there. There's just ruins. It's maybe a day's... Wow, holy balls.
Yeah.
It's maybe a day's ride to the northeast.
You're
two
getting
at
winded
most.
just thinking about climbing a mountain.
Yeah, that's what's happening. I'm
I don't blame you at
all.
all. It's okay. Deep breaths. We can make it through this thing.
Well, the trail up is treacherous, but it saves you days of travel through difficult country.
Okay. More of a, well, like kind of what we saw. It's a trail, but really it's just big rocks.
Yeah,
It's not really a trail.
it's not fun. My legs burn thinking about it.
Oh, you thought this was going to be easy. Oh, no, this isn't that.
It's not like you're walking up like a mossy hill, you know, like a nice hike up a mossy hill.
No,
No.
not like Michigan mountains.
Yeah. Well, at the top of this mountain, there is the site of the ruins, but they are just outbuildings, not like the main structure.
Okay.
There's a road going through them, like the promenade here, that goes through all the outbuildings here that leads up to the main building.
I gotcha. They're a driveway of castles.
Yeah.
Yeah, then you got the big roundabout at the end.
Or maybe not even castles, but I'm
Or like
guessing
an
there's
easement.
I'm guessing the buildings are like, you know, the gatekeeper and like, you know, the groundskeeper's fucking shack and that kind of shit.
Okay.
Richard is like, okay, cool. We have a road. Where does the road go? If the road goes to the main structure, i.e., let's follow the road.
We should take the road.
And Kahlan's like, dude, it goes right to the edge of the cliff where it cuts off. And he's like, okay, cool. Maybe there's stairs? Is there stairs? Can we get down? It's like down below. And she's like, no, there's no way down. The mountain is sheared off like part of the mountain is missing.
I don't know how to tell you this, but literally the word is cliff, Richard.
Yeah.
It is a cliff.
Yeah.
No way down.
He says it like maybe she had seen the road go off the cliff and then never bothered to walk to the edge of the cliff and look down to see if there's stairs there or something. Or maybe she had, but she hadn't thought to mention it. Like, oh yeah, there. You know what, Richard? Now that you mention it, there are stairs there, and I bet you that leads to the temple down there. No. She's like, maybe there was a rock slide or something, but everything beyond the edge of that cliff is just fucking gone. And Richard is like, that is what Kolo said. The team returned, the temple was gone.
Temple was gone.
They must have used magic to tear away the side of the mountain. Berdine is going to keep looking to see if the journal mentions a rock slide or an avalanche, anything like that.
Oh, avalanche.
Yeah.
How would an avalanche sound exactly, do you think? Oh, that was a big finish.
Yeah, because it was coming up on you.
Yeah.
You know, that was point of view. Point of view, you're in an avalanche.
Oh, it was coming towards you.
Yeah.
And then the end is where you got covered in
Yeah.
snow. Well, that was fantastic.
Did you hear the quiet at the beginning? Because at the beginning,
I did.
You don't know that an avalanche is happening. There's just like a slow like creak.
You're like, oh,
You're like,
what's that in the background? What do I hear?
and then you're dead. That's how it goes.
You are a very dynamic actor, Jade.
Thank you. I think I could have been in that movie. I could have been that guy in the movie that does the sound. But you know that police
does the thing. Police Academy.
Police Academy.
Oh, you're talking about Michael.
I could have done his job.
Oh, I gotta search it because I can't think of it.
I don't really know. I don't really know that I've even seen that movie, but I know that people reference that guy as making
Michael
noises.
Michael Winslow. Yeah, no, he was in Cheech and Chong too. He's in the scene where he goes to the DMV.
Oh.
We'll have to watch that.
We
He's
need
got
to-
like a can of Coke
Yeah.
and he's like cradling it like a baby. It's got the other crazy guy who's just laughing in the background.
We need to watch those movies again.
Yeah, that whole scene gives me anxiety. I don't know if it's just me, but I could not handle being in that room. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. No, but I could totally do that.
I believe you can. I would. You know what? I have Audacity, so we'll have our listeners write into us and tell us the sound effects that Jade needs to make, and then we can make a reel of all Jade's sound effects.
Yeah, we totally could.
And then we can use them for the show.
Yeah, it'll be solid.
You should do a sword. Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard it on this podcast a few times, so that's why I have it down to such a
It was exactly the same,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Anyways. Berdine is like, well, Richard, are you going to have any time to help me before you take off to go get married to your girlfriend?
No, I have no time.
Well, she thinks he will because the soldiers are all better now. That was the only thing stopping him, remember? That's what he told her. And at this point, Richard can't make himself answer her. And she's still like joking around. She's like, I know I'm your favorite. You're not getting cold feet, are you? Everybody else in the room is just silent.
Yeah, fuck yeah, they are.
Well, everybody else, to be fair, everybody else in the room was there with the death today and also may potentially be infected with the plague. So
yeah, that's true.
Maybe somebody should have been like, Berdine, 6 feet. Don't come any closer. Just before, like, let us tell you what's going on before you come closer, so you have the option.
Well, that's what the whole big meeting is for. You know, outside, spread out, everybody. Let us tell you all at once. Don't approach us before then.
Well, Kahlan decides to do the bad news telling for him. The wedding is called off as of now.
Now, see this? I know Kahlan did it for him, but we weren't privy to this conversation, right?
They didn't have a conversation.
Right. So then, like, why? You can say, hey, we're getting married as soon as possible. And if your plan is still to get married, then you're still engaged.
Yeah,
what's the point of you saying, wow, we're going to do it
called off instead of delayed?
After the war is done or whenever you're planning on doing it, there's no point in saying that. I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. If I'm going to marry somebody, that's for life. So, okay, we're going to wait for a little while does not mean, well, wedding's up. No, it's postponed.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she should have said postponed instead of off.
That's too dramatic.
Also, I think it's 100% acceptable to change your plans when the world is fucking ending and there's plague everywhere and,
100%.
Maybe you can't get together with a big group. Maybe you don't want to go travel across the world and potentially spread this plague to the mud people. Cool, great. Should you have to wait to get married? No. You should pick a priest or pick a wizard in your town and have him fucking doop. You're fucking married now.
Right.
Get it done. And then have a bomb-ass party after everything's done in your nice-ass blue dress with the mud people. And if they don't understand that that's what you had to do at that moment, then fuck them.
Well, no, I was going to say, we know that the ceremony is important to the mud people. So if they don't understand that that's what you had to do, then I would say, fine, then you're there. Let's do a ceremony now.
Yeah, if it doesn't count to you, then we can do a second one.
Right, 100%.
But also, fuck you if that's not acceptable.
They're our friends, Jay.
Yeah, but are they
That's
really
true.
friends if they don't understand that life fucking happens?
That's true.
But the people in this room currently that are all standing around hearing this revelation for the first time are taking this in as well.
Yeah.
And Nadine has a intently blank face. Like so blank that it's obvious that she is schooling her expression to not say anything.
Yeah, she is trying not to smile right now.
Right.
Play it cool, Nadine. Play it cool, Nadine.
Which speaks more than had she grinned.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes it almost worse because nobody can say shit to her for not smiling.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you try to call her out at this point, you're going to look like a crazy person.
Yeah.
Being like, you are not smiling, but I know you want to be smiling, so fuck you. But you can't say that because then you'll be the crazy girlfriend and she will look sane.
Right?
So
No, because then you flip it and reverse it and you say, no, of course I am heartbroken to hear that Richard's marriage fell apart. That's awful. He must be struggling and I should be there to comfort him right now.
Yeah, and I don't know why you're attacking me when obviously this plague is what's upsetting everybody. You shouldn't be attacking me at this moment. Wow, your priorities are really out of whack. No wonder you're not getting married.
It's funny though that
fuck her.
She's got a view, like a goal for saying that to get it off of her. Whereas people that we've talked, people like you in a pharmacy position who have to tell people, hey, I'm sorry, this is just the way it is, and it's not for your personal gain. Nadine is doing that in a way that benefits her. Whereas everybody else has to do that and get blamed for it. Yeah. And it's not really benefiting them at all. Sorry, that's all. That's all, I promise.
The only time I can maybe sort of say that maybe my job was like that was when I worked at VetIQ and we came back, and after a while we didn't have to necessarily keep people outside anymore. They could come in with their pets, but we let that go on as long as we could because it was more convenient for us to not have patients in there.
Well,
not for a very long time, like a week.
For space reasons, that was a very small room.
It was, and that's not super similar. But that's the only thing I could kind of, yes.
I didn't have to deal with any of that.
It's for COVID, but really it's for me because I don't want to see, like, you are making your pet anxious, so stay outside.
I guess that's why I was trying to point this out, because Nadine is using an already bad situation to her benefit. Where other people we know, people you work with, they have to, name drop the big bad disease. Right, and they get blamed for it on the regular, and it's not their fault.
No.
That's all. We should move on, because I'm just going to talk myself into a deeper, darker corner.
I think you came out of the dark corner, and the light was shined upon you.
Healthcare workers, I promise I'm not trying to compare you to Nadine. I respect you all very, very much. You're all smarter than me. So... if I said something dumb, now we all know why.
Well, okay, all right. We have one more note.
Okay, hit me.
So, Berdine is like, well, why the fuck are we calling off the wedding? Because she is
Thank you, Berdine.
Yeah, she's not privy to any of the information from today either.
Oh, okay.
So, Richard tells her that the prophecy was about a plague that Jagang has started, and their duty is to the people. We can't leave now. It would look really shitty. And Berdine just lowers the journal and says, I am sorry. And that's the end of the chapter. I probably would have argued, again, like we just did, and said, hey, get the fuck married or whatever. But whatever.
I mean, okay, I guess this is what maybe it's the beer talking, but I feel like this is kind of like 9/11, right? When all the bad shit happened and things were going crazy and the world fucking stopped for lots of people. And then the next day, we just got to work. We decided, right? We weren't going to be afraid. We were just going to fix what was broken, and we were going to continue to live our lives and fight back, So I'm saying that Richard and Kahlan should be looking at all of this shit going on and then say, but you know what? We are going to get married. Maybe not the way we had planned. Beer down! Maybe not the way we had planned, but you know what? If we don't get married, then Jagang has, then he's fucked with us. Now he's in the circle, and we can't have that.
I agree with most of what you were saying, obviously, because that was my original point.
Okay.
Some of what you were saying almost sounded very close to... because here's the thing. You compared it to 9/11, which, yes, was a totally different situation. But some of what you said sounded very similar to faith over fear. which was used during the COVID pandemic.
No, I'm not saying that at all.
I know that's not what you were saying, but it sounded very close.
Well, because...
let me. No,
that's fine.
I heard what you were saying. I just wanted to say that the difference is that it is closer to COVID than 9/11 because people did have to take a break.
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
Not that Richard and Kahlan are not in a position of power to where they could have gotten a justice of the peace and had their fucking wedding. Okay.
One could argue they could do that plague safe as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
They could. They totally
That's
could.
all I mean.
People did. And the COVID, some people put it off. Some people just didn't have the big weddings.
That's what I mean. You can put off the big party with all the people, with all the big weddings, and that does suck. But you can do that later. Yeah. But you can still get married right now. Because if you want to marry somebody, then you should marry that person.
Yeah. Alternatively,
that's all.
There were people who put off their weddings during 2020 and waited until 2021, 2022 and had giant ass headaches because they had to fucking try and wrestle with all the brides that were going to get married the next year too. Yep. So like just doing it was probably easier. I don't know. I didn't do it.
That's all I mean.
I was already married.
Get it done.
I agree.
Marry, have sex, call it good.
Wow. Nate's just like, everybody procreate.
That's the end of the book right there.
Yeah.
And then they did it.
End. You know, these books I think would probably be a lot shorter if the two of them just were able to just do that. That's what the whole...
It's really just about them fucking.
This is just about them
Will they, won't they?
Them trying to have a baby.
And here we are 20-odd books in, like...
Yeah.
But are they gonna?
Yeah.
Yeah. The world is at stake, but are they gonna do it?
And then Terry is gone now until we don't have any more. So we were left with what we were left with, and we have to pick it apart. Anyways, I think that
you had the most amazing 1,000-yard stare I have ever seen. She was staring through the beer, through the laptop at the floor.
Anyway,
that was incredible. Yeah.
At least this book didn't, or this chapter, I mean, it mentioned dead kids. We didn't see a dead kid, so that's cool.
No, we got a little bit of a break there.
We're getting some buffer from the dead children. Hopefully next episode won't have any. That would be great.
Yeah, maybe we won't have to mention dead children at all. I think that's probably 5 or 6 this episode too now.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Thank you guys all very, very much for listening. If you wanted to let us know what you thought about this chapter or this episode, you could write in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com, or you can find us on any of our social medias. If you wanted to support this podcast directly, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and make a pledge of any amount. If that is not your thing, then you can go ahead and give us preferably a 5-star rating. It would help us very, very much and helps other people find this podcast. Wabam! I did all the things.
Yay! Good job.
Thank you all for listening, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye!